right, it's now part 2 for our map making. We are going to continue on with some land features. So in this upper right corner of the paper, I'm just going to give you some quick tips and tricks, things that you can draw as symbols on your map so that anyone who is holding your map might get a better idea of what the land is like. A nice simple tree might work. If you want to kind of show where gardens are or flowery areas, you can draw a quick flower. I'd also highly suggest this very simple diamond shape. Just draw a diamond, a smaller diamond on the inside, and then connect all the corners with a short little line, and that gives it a nice cool 3D look. Kids love doing this one, especially when you make diamonds of different shapes, sizes, and sometimes they even want to color them, and it's kind of like this cool hidden secret place of wealth and precious stones. Okay, continuing on, you might also want to do palm trees. Now these of course go close to wherever the water is on the beach. In addition, you can put kind of big flowery areas to kind of indicate more of a jungle scene on your island. Now, I also want to suggest these 3 line patterns. Just kind of repeat them in different directions over and over and over again, and it can mean pretty much whatever you want. For my map, this is going to mean a very dry, desert-like area where no plant or water is found. And of course, on the land features, you can make mountains. You can make mountains that are just upside down letter V's, some with snow caps. They can be round on the top, all different sizes, especially if you kind of put them very close together, and even a bit of bumpy ground, which means that it's kind of fertile, maybe farmland. The next thing we should go over is man-made features, things on your map that have been made by people, starting with a well. Now this is important because maybe travelers who are wandering around your map's location might be thirsty. They might want to know where they can get some quick water. So if you need to pause, slow this video down. I know it's going in fast forward, but we do have a lot to cover, and I do want to get to it all. Now the next thing is, just using basic shapes, there is no wrong way to draw a building. So using basic shapes like triangles, trapezoids, rectangles, and squares, you can kind of make these simple buildings. Now if you line them all up in a row like you see me doing here, it is going to be most representative of a village, someplace that's populated by a lot of people. And you can copy the buildings that I'm drawing here or make them up on your own. In fact, your own buildings will always be better. Another idea that I thought might be cool is a hot air balloon. Show where your visitors, your tourists, can go to board a quick hot air balloon, maybe take an overhead tour of the entire island. Drawing a quick hot air balloon is really easy with patterns and basic shapes, so this might be a good idea for you to consider. All right, I'm just going to hatch this basket where people kind of sit in, just for extra details. And another man-made feature that I'm a huge fan of that a lot of kids want to do is a castle. Now the main part, other than the basic shapes of a castle, is knowing how to do this box line, which you can see at the top of the tower. Because on the castles that I'm going to teach you how to do, there are 3 areas where you want to include these box lines. So a castle is something that is normally found, maybe the person who is overseeing or in control of everything that goes on in your island lives there. Maybe it's just an old castle where tourists can go to check it out. But these over, down, up repeating patterns make for a great castle, not to mention the upside down U drawbridge. Also, putting these small rounded rectangles all around helps your buildings look like they're made of stone. So that's kind of a helpful hint and an easy kind of tip to make, where you can make your man-made structures look like they were really built with mortar and rock. Okay, bottom right corner of this paper, the last one is the legend, and we talked about the legend. The legend is all about making things that aren't actually on your island, but instead give people an idea of what the symbols mean and which way is which. So we're going to start with this simple banner. I love this banner. It's very basic. Slow the video down so you can kind of copy it one step at a time if you'd like. I always name all my maps Garaland. I think that's a lot of fun to name a place after myself, and you should definitely do the same. Your map should be populated by all your most favorite stuff, and you can do that by just kind of thinking of your favorite subject at school, your favorite foods, the favorite places that you've actually been in real life. Now this second banner, as you can see, is just slightly different. The front banner is curved. Next, I'm going to show you a compass rose. This shows you that north, south, east, west direction. You can use arrows like on the face of a clock. You can do squiggly arrows, straight arrows, or you can do this upside down letter V shape with a giant N to represent which direction is north, and you can even make the N a little bit fancy. Okay, it's time for the actual fun of decorating your island. So get out your watercolor that you did last week, and with a fine line pen or marker, very carefully and very specifically with slight little imperfections and bumps, I want you to trace all the way around the outline or the perimeter of your island and any smaller islands that might be floating out there in the sea. By doing a great job and keeping it very close, the natural flow and ebbing of your watercolors will create very convincing looking islands. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go nuts. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to add as much interesting and uniquely fun details to my island as possible. And this is going to include those bridges that I just drew, definitely a mountain range so people know kind of where to avoid unless they want to go mountain climbing. Using dots can be a convincing way to make dry, sandy areas. I'm going to put a little village in the northeastern area of my island. Houses of all shapes and sizes. I'm going to make these little triangular teepee shapes for camping. Definitely going to put that simplified compass showing which way's north. As you already saw, I'm going to make sure that everybody knows that this is indeed Garaland, the place of exciting artworks. And I'm going to put this very basic kind of scribbly rectangle and draw my legend. Now for this project, I do want you to give me at least 4 different details, 4 symbols, showing me what is what on your island. Now, of course, being your art teacher, I want to give you a good example of what a high amount of very specific details can do. So I'm just going to go crazy, adding all kinds of things like a forest, different pathways, different kinds of land, whether it be swamp or farmland. I definitely want to put where you might be able to find some diamonds on the island. I think that would be exciting for people to see. I didn't do this one before, but I thought a dock might be cool to show where ships might end up, and then from that dock show directions on how to get to the closest village. And I'm going to do that pathway that we did last rotation with triangles, dashed lines. I don't know why that swirls there, but it's just fun to imagine somebody being confused and going around. Maybe there's some kind of weird tornado valley there. Definitely going to put the castle right in the center, as well as some other details like waterways. I had so much fun with this, and I want you to take your time with yours also. Don't forget to take a picture, upload it to Schoology. I hope you had as much fun as I did, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.